I've got to be honest, I've lost track a bit of the question.
Well, sustainable development.
Sustainable development. Anybody here commute? Oh, most of you retired, that's why I like it. My wife and I first moved back to Newmarket 4 years ago, just to reiterate, oh, by the way, I did live on Curry Crescent. It's a beautiful neighborhood. When we moved back, I got a job in Burlington, and I commuted every single day to Burlington. Shooting, that's all I can say. I did it for a year. I couldn't handle it. I opened my own business in Newmarket. I live, work, and play in Newmarket. And if we can get that to happen to more people, we are going to have a greener environment. I'm not saying it's something that can be done overnight, absolutely not. But I do champion. And when you're running for council or you're running for any type of board, if something's not broken, don't try and fix it. And I agree with the current council and what they've done. I've read York's official plan. I've read Newmarket's plan. Their economic development is on track, and I do agree with that, 100%. I just think that we need to make sure that the people that are championing that over the next 10 to 15 years are people that I agree have experience and have a general understanding and a first-hand knowledge of how that should look, how that should develop, and how that is sustainable within your tax dollars. And that's really how I see Newmarket. I see it growing up on Yonge and Davis. I see our neighborhoods staying the way they are because literally they have to. We've run out of space, which is a good thing for us. That's it.
Yes, when Tony and I first moved to Newmarket 37 years ago, the only choice was to commute. We commuted down to, I worked down in Eglinton, and Tony worked in the city, and it was an ordeal. Oh my goodness, we were up at 5:30 in the morning, and this was the price of living in the country. But people don't have to make that choice now. More and more families, I've noticed at my daycare center, almost everyone commuted when I first opened 26 years ago, but now most of the families live and work in Newmarket. And that's what I would recommend to everybody. Why commute if you can find the type of work that you do in Newmarket? Opportunities are opening up all the time. We have our fabulous South Lake Hospital, the town's biggest employer with I'm sure many opportunities for employment there. Teachers, merchants, business people. Certainly, I would encourage anyone to settle in Newmarket. A safe place to raise your kids, beautiful recreational facilities. It's just a wonderful place to live. I love Newmarket. If you're going to commute, I think it would be great if the GO schedule had some more trains running throughout the day. You either have to get down there on the first train and get back on the dinner trains, and if you have any business, you're kind of down there for the day. So I think it would be nice to have the flexibility, that's for sure. So I guess that's about all I have to say about commuting. Why bother? Thank you.
That was a great question, is how to make Newmarket a livable city. Well, as we all know, most of us do commute to different various locations in and around, maybe perhaps Toronto, perhaps north of here. It's just a fact of life. We're going to have to communicate. And a recent article that was just brought up, a survey, close to 30% live in Newmarket, work in Newmarket. So that's a growing trend. It's good to see that the jobs are starting to become available in Newmarket to keep the money here. But commuting is a fact that we all have to face now and then because of the growth of town, because of the jobs in different areas, and also because of the money. Because sometimes in different places, such as Toronto, we have to commute to put more money on the table to have the affordable living that we all deserve. So I don't think you're going to get away from the commuting issue, but it's great to initiate projects in town and keep the money in town. Well, what do I see in a livable city? Well, there must be a lot of factors in place. We must have healthcare, and of course transit and the infrastructure must be in place. And I agree with my colleague Steve here that the town is on the economic development path. We so far are good in getting the town growing along with growth because of infrastructure. But also certain certain things must be in place to support this infrastructure. And we must engage citizens to what's really going on with this infrastructure. I'd like to form a steering committee to, I guess, really tell people what is going on with the issues in town and keep them informed. You know, an informed person is a knowledgeable person. They want to see what's going on with your tax dollars. They want to see what's going on with your town. As Steve mentioned, the different places that he lives, it's the city design that starts the infrastructure of town and creates jobs. And the city design in Newmarket is on track with the present council then. But we're all here for a reason. We're all right here to initiate change. And with the candidates here, we see different values or different changes that we'd like to implement. We'd like to implement to bring Newmarket the great town that it is, that it already is. So that's why we're here. We see visions, we see different changes that we've seen over the years living in Newmarket. We have a great healthcare system in place with healthcare, with South Lake right here, and the cancer unit. It's a great facility there. We hope to bring more people here. As we just mentioned earlier on, there is a possibility of a medical university come to town. But we must not also forget, we should also have a trade school here. We also should have a trade, because the manufacturing jobs are a growing sector. It's a growing sector right here in Newark. So along with a medical university, we need to see a trades college or a trades university come to town to keep the money in town and to prevent us from commuting to the city. So Newmarket is a great town. I think we're on the right path, but we have to watch where our money is going, and that's why we're all running here for a seat, because we see other visions that maybe other people don't. Thank you.
Hey, I knew there was a clock. Anyway, there are so many questions I wanted to ask. I had a question about arts and culture. I had a question about what are you guys going to do to engage citizens and give them opportunities to communicate. But you know what? I can't ask all my questions. You guys have questions. So let's do the open mic thing. Just one little wee plug, because this is let's show the candidates some love. It's been a long night. They've given some really well. Plug citizens engaged in democracy. Done. What would be a real thrill for me would be if everyone who came here today would contact the town council and tell them we need a meeting space that's for people to show up and communicate. I know they have town halls and meetings and so on. Maybe we can't get to their meetings, but maybe we want to have our own meetings for them to attend. We need an open public space for this kind of thing. I don't even want to tell you what happened to make this happen. I'm just so glad you're here that we needed more room, so I'm not complaining. But we need a public, open forum for citizens to engage their local democracy.
Absolutely.